Good morning, everybody. The May 18th, 2021 School Land Board meeting will now come to order pursuant to the Governor's executive order to avoid gatherings of more than 10 and the Governor's March 16, 2020 suspension of certain provisions of the Open Meeting Act. The May 18, 2021 meeting of the School Land Board is being held today by video conference call as authorized under the Texas Government Code section 551.125. Access to this meeting is accessible to members of the public and was published in advance in the Texas Register in accordance with the Texas Open Meeting Act. Any member of the public who wishes to address the board on a matter within our authority should indicate so and text Corey in the chat function of your Zoom panel. I can limit the length of time available to each individual. To that end, we have representatives of Diamond Edge Energy who will be watching via Zoom. They've asked not to speak on item number 3, but if questions come up, perhaps they would be available to be promoted to the panel to address any potential questions from the board. With that being said, we could go into our first item on the agenda, and that's the approval of the minutes from our last meeting. Assuming the board has had an opportunity to review it and no questions or comments, I could entertain a motion to confirm them for the record.
Todd Williams, so moved.
Before we approve it, I did find one little typo point out on the 4th paragraph where the date is, the H was left off of March. So just point that out. But I second the approval with that correction.
Duly noted, and motion is made, seconded, and carries with 4 votes and 1 abstention. Next item is assuming. Hey, Gil.
Gilbert Shelga, can you hear me? I just want to make sure
we can.
You guys got. Okay.
We did. Thank you very much. We unfortunately for confirmation of the minutes for folks that were in attendance. So I went ahead and presumptively logged you in as an abstention.
Okay.
So motion is made and seconded with 1 abstention to approve the minutes. Next item on the agenda is approval of the consent agenda. I'm personally recusing myself from item 2E1. I've filed a recusal statement to that end to staff. And after the board has had a chance to review the consent agenda, assuming no questions, comments, or objections at this time, could entertain a motion to confirm the consent agenda as posted.
I'll move. Todd Williams.
Second, Michael.
Motion is made, seconded, and carries unanimously to approve the consent agenda, but for my abstention on 2E1. Item number 3 through 6 will be held in executive session. I'm also recusing myself from item number 6, and I've similarly filed a recusal statement that has been submitted to staff. We'll enter into executive session pursuant to Chapter 551, Subchapter D, Section 551.071 of the Government Code for discussion consideration regarding pending or contemplated litigation or settlement offers, or to receive attorney advice for counsel-related items 3 through 6 on the docket. And subsection 551.072 for discussion consideration concerning purchase, sale, exchange, lease, or value of real property related to items 3 through 6 on the docket. Following executive session, we'll reconvene in open session to complete the docket. The open session of the May 18, 2021 School Land Board meeting will resume with item number 3.
Good morning, Larry Hargrave with the Office of General Counsel. Item number 3 is consideration and possible action on Diamond Edge Energy's application for suspension of state lease 118426 by reason of delayed permitting by a governmental agency. And staff recommends that the board approve Diamond Edge's application as discussed in executive session. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from the board? Before we move, I just want to comment, Larry, and to the rest of the team. You know, this is becoming an emerging issue with some of our producers on submerged lands, and to the extent, you know, we complete our coastal master plan with the Corps in the coming months, that we visit with them as a priority for the agency to make sure that we're expediting the timelines and that it's affecting timeliness of their development timeline. So I just offer that and want to put that on the record, but assuming no questions, comments from the board, I can entertain a motion to confirm staff recommendation.
So moved,
Paul
Todd Williams.
Bursiaga motions.
A motion is made, seconded, and carries unanimously to approve item number 3. Thank you, Larry. Next item on the agenda is number 4.
Good morning. This is Amber Long with Asset Management. This is a tax foreclosure file number TFL 000140 in Terry County. Staff recommends approval of the disposition of this for the terms discussed in closed session as being in the best interest of the state. Any questions?
Any questions of Amber at this time?
This is Michael. I move to approve.
Second.
Motion is made, seconded, and carries unanimously to approve item number 4.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Susan on item number 5.
Good morning. This is Susan Shugaric of Asset Management. Item number 5 is a consideration possible action on 2 applications to purchase the surface estate of vacant land, file number SF 16621, Montgomery County, Texas. The applicants are Blue Jack Company LLC and Montgomery Land Partners LP. Staff recommends approval of both applications as discussed in executive session under the terms and conditions. Any questions?
Any questions of Susan at this time?
This is Scott. I move to approve. A second, Gil Bursiaga.
Motion is made, seconded, and carries unanimously to approve item number 5. Thank you, Susan.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is number 6. And just for the record, I will be recusing myself on this vote.
Mr. Chairman, members, for the record, this is Rusty Martin, Chief Investment Officer for the General Land Office. Good morning. Approval of this agenda item would constitute your approval of a co-investment by the GLO on behalf of the PSF alongside Intervest Limited through a newly created limited liability company co-investment vehicle called Capital Co-Investments 17 LLC. The IAC is recommending that GLO co-invest $120 million alongside Intervest through Capco 17. Intervest, as you know, is a Houston-based private equity energy investor focused primarily on oil and gas assets in the U.S. onshore energy sector. Our relationship with Intervest began in 2015 and has resulted in total original capital commitments of $325 million across 1 fund and 2 co-investment vehicles. Intervest recently offered TexGlo the opportunity to co-invest alongside it and a group of other energy investors in an attractive package of U.S. upstream oil and gas assets. Investment management staff conducted due diligence on this co-investment opportunity through a review of the proposal and a series of discussions with the Intervest team. In addition, we also discussed the proposed opportunity with W.D. Von Gotten and Associates, an oil and gas consultant located in Houston. The Intervest team then made a detailed presentation to the IAC and the Townsend Group on May 11th. In conjunction with this discussion, review, and analysis, investment management and the IAC have determined that the proposed co-investment fits within the framework of the TexGlo PSF investment policy statement and is in the best interest of the permanent school fund. Therefore, the IAC is recommending the school land board approve a co-investment of $120 million in the proposed transaction alongside Intervest through a newly created limited liability company co-investment vehicle called Capital Co-Investment 17 LLC. I'd also note the approval of this transaction, as usual, is contingent upon investment management's completion of the negotiation and finalization of the legal documentation associated with the proposed co-investment, and also that the approval of this transaction also includes the authorization for the formation and activation of the limited liability company co-investment vehicle, Capital Co-Investment 17 LLC. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from the board at this time?
I'll move to approve, Todd.
Second, it's Michael.
Thank you for that. Motion is made, seconded, and carries with one abstention from me, the chairman, to approve item number 6. There being no further business before the board, the meeting is hereby adjourned.